Welcome to this special, in-depth journey on BT+. Today, we are not just presenting a fleeting episode, we are providing a comprehensive audio and visual reference for anyone who seeks to understand one of the most complex and dangerous human phenomena. We will stay together, diving into the depths of the narcissistic ocean. We will dismantle the atoms that make up this personality and pull back the curtain on the dark rooms of their minds, not out of malice, but for the sake of understanding, protection, and recovery. Before we begin, ask yourself, have you ever felt like you are walking on eggshells around someone you love? Have you felt like you are losing your identity, becoming a mere shadow of another person? If the answer is yes, you are in the right place. The word narcissism is derived from the myth of Narcissus, the young man enchanted by his own reflection in the water until he died out of self-love. But in modern psychology, it is far less romantic. Narcissism is Narcissistic Personality Disorder, a persistent pattern of grandiosity, a desperate need for admiration, and a total lack of empathy. Let's start with the anatomical roots of the narcissist. Studies using functional MRI, referenced by scientists like Dr. Christian Leitner, have shown structural differences in the brains of those with this disorder, specifically in the anterior insular cortex, the region responsible for human empathy. This means we are dealing with someone who has a technical malfunction in their emotions. They see your tears as mere water droplets on glass. It doesn't move them. In fact, they might see it as a manipulative tactic on your part to distract them from their goals. Let's imagine this explanatory example. Picture the narcissist as a black hole in space. A black hole is not a planet. It is an entity that absorbs all light and matter around it and gives nothing back. No matter how much love, sacrifice, money, or time you provide, it will swallow it and demand more. They do not feel gratitude because a black hole is never full. In contrast, you are the star burning itself out to give them light. Ultimately, when your energy is depleted, they will leave you as cold wreckage and seek another star to drain. When we move to narcissistic childhood, scientific sources, including the book The Drama of the Gifted Child by Alice Miller, confirm that a narcissist is not born evil. They are a child whose true self was assassinated in youth. They were either a golden child from whom perfection was always demanded to satisfy their parents' ego, learning that their value is tied to what they do rather than who they are, or they suffered severe neglect that forced them to build a giant, false self, to protect a terrified inner child. The narcissist is, in reality, a very hard shell surrounding a terrifying void. They are terrified that someone will discover that behind this mask, there is nothing. Therefore, they attack anyone who tries to get close to the truth. Now, let's expand on control tactics. The narcissist is a master of a technique called triangulation. Imagine you are in a relationship with them, and suddenly they start talking about a third person, an old friend or a colleague, praising them excessively in front of you. The goal here is to spark your jealousy and keep you in a constant race to please them. They place you in an imaginary competition, so you always feel threatened by replacement. This tactic was noted by Dr. Theodore Millon as one of the most effective ways a narcissist ensures victim loyalty through the fear of loss. And if we talk about mind manipulation or gaslighting, we must elaborate on its examples. A narcissist might hide your car keys, and when you look for them, they tell you that you suffer from memory loss and need treatment. They might commit a blatant betrayal, and when you confront them with evidence, they say, "You're paranoid. You are the one who destroyed this relationship with your delusions." Over time, the victim begins to rely on the narcissist to interpret reality. Psychological sources describe this state as shared psychosis, where the victim begins to see the world through the eyes of the executioner. There is another type we must define precisely: the spiritual narcissist or the moral narcissist. This person uses religion, values, or volunteer work as a mask for their grandiosity. They see themselves as the purest of human beings and use religious texts to bring others to their knees and make them feel guilty. This type was mentioned by Dr. Judy Berry in her research on spiritual abuse. They are never wrong because God is with them or because their morals are above suspicion, and any criticism of them is an attack on virtue itself. Let's move to the stage of financial and social depletion. The narcissist doesn't just want you to love them. They want you to be isolated. They start cutting your ties with your family and friends under the pretext that they don't care about your best interests or are jealous of our relationship. The goal is for you to be completely alone in their dark room, hearing only their voice. Financially, the narcissist often controls resources or pushes you into debt, so you don't have the material capacity to escape. Historical examples are full of narcissistic leaders who destroyed entire nations because they couldn't stand the word no. In our current era, social media has become a narcissist's paradise. Filters, like counts, and the search for fake perfection are all tools that feed the narcissistic ego. But behind the screen, this person lives in a state of severe depression if attention wanes, because their value is not derived from within, but from the reflection of their image in the eyes of followers. Why are empaths attracted to narcissists? This is a fundamental question. An empathetic person has an innate desire to fix. They see the wound behind the narcissist's mask and say, "I will heal them with my love." But the truth, confirmed by books like The Empatha's Survival Guide by Judith Orloff, is that the narcissist doesn't want to be healed. They only want fuel. The empath gives without limits, and the narcissist takes without limits. This is the perfect recipe for a psychological disaster. In this episode, we must talk about escaping the prison. Escaping a narcissist is not just a decision, it is a surgical operation for the soul. The first step is education. When you understand that their actions are a manual repeated by every narcissist in the world, their magic begins to fade. You will discover they aren't geniuses, they are programmed into these patterns. The second step is no contact. There is no friendship with a narcissist after a breakup because friendship requires empathy, which they do not possess. Any contact with them is a loophole through which they will return to plant doubt in your heart again. If you are forced to deal with them, use the gray rock strategy. Be as boring as a gray rock. Brief responses, yes, no, I will send the email. Do not explain your feelings because your feelings are the data they will use against you next time. I want to conclude this long part of our story on BT Plus with a message to everyone who feels lost. You are not what the narcissist said about you. You are not a failure, you are not crazy, and you are not difficult. You are in a war against an invisible enemy who uses your noble feelings as a weapon against you. Recovery begins by returning to the self, by adopting that inner child the narcissist neglected, and by believing that your value is derived from being human, not from a sick person's approval of you. The narcissist will always be running after a mirage, changing victims like they change clothes, but in the end, they remain alone with their bloated and hollow ego. As for you, you have the ability to grow, to learn, and to truly love. Knowledge is your weapon, and awareness is your shield. Thank you for your patience, and we hope this long script is the light that guides you out of the dark tunnel of narcissism.